This is a pretty cool feature I've never seen before. This laptop has a screen where it goes back and it can flip down into a tablet. And it's also got a pretty sturdy design here as well. This edge here is a solid piece of metal. This bezel here is pretty solid. On top of that, the rest of the chassis is also pretty well constructed. When I hold it at the very corner, there's almost no flex to it. Despite its small size, this thing actually has some pretty loud speakers, which instead of facing up or down like in other laptops, the speakers in this laptop are shooting out of the side, which kind of look like an SD card slot, except this doesn't have an SD card slot. And surprisingly, this laptop is still decently snappy, although it's not the fastest. And yes, I say it's still snappy because this laptop is actually 12 years old. Yes, this laptop is from around 2013, and it runs Windows 11 actually pretty decently. One of the biggest downsides to this laptop is that when I first got it, it only had 4 GB of non-upgradable RAM. Fortunately, I was able to get another motherboard on eBay that has 8 GB of RAM and an i7. I guess this is what the future of laptop upgrades is going to look like. Out with the old and in with the new. For some people, 8 GB of RAM is still not enough, but I'd say this laptop is still decent enough for some basic tasks. And there are still brand new laptops that are sold with only 4 GB of non-upgradable RAM. So technically this is still usable. Linux is another good operating system to choose, with a touchscreen working as well. One major flaw with the Dell XPS 9Q33 is that the screen has a very high failure rate. Now fortunately this screen is not having issues, but many of them will leak glue out from the side of the screen and start having air bubbles in the middle of the screen, which might explain why I was able to get an extra motherboard for so cheap. It's also the reason why I got a lower specs model instead of a higher specs model, just because it's pretty hard to find one with a good screen that is also high specs. It's cheaper to just swap in another motherboard than to buy the higher spec model that also has a good screen. When it's working, this screen is actually pretty vivid and has a resolution of 1920 by 1080, which is normal by today's standards, but by 2013 standards, most screens were a much lower resolution. Well anyways, thanks for taking the time to watch this video about my weird old laptop. I hope you enjoyed. If you liked this video, consider leaving a like, and maybe check out some of my other content and see if anything interests you. But bye now.